Well, it's been a pretty amazing week here in the Waikato, and I guess the big thing has been V8 car races and an audit from the government auditor into that, and their report that was fairly damning about the administration in the City Council and how things were arranged. And of course the media is now having a little bit of a field day about whether councillors who were involved in those decisions should or should not resign, and they've dug their heels in and saying no, it's not our responsibility. And I suppose that is an interesting sort of state of affairs. I've got my Weet-Bix packet here with the All Blacks because we're still, I think, still celebrating the fact that they won the World Cup, and our economic outlook is a little brighter because our fundamentals are strong. A little bit brighter than at least Greece and now Italy. It's amazing the way the currencies fluctuate and bounce up and down, ignoring, I guess, the basic fundamentals and resilience of our economy. With the national election coming up, I guess that does add some risk exposure and a little bit more volatility, and that's actually great for those involved in the financial markets. We love volatility, we love the trading, we like the profits. What I did want to just point to was a couple of research projects that we're involved with, and one in particular was dealing with the public sector and the need to actually understand what outputs are coming from projects. That we've just seen today in evidence regarding buildings and the Canterbury earthquake, not wishing to preempt what the Royal Commission might find there, people saying, well, they didn't quite enforce the policy as it was. And I guess that's my observation about that, is that in the public sector we're really quite good at seeing policies being written and explanations of policy and fancy documents, but are we actually very good at measuring the real outputs? Do we understand what the consequences of projects and programs are and measure that in terms of real performance indices relating to economic and social welfare? In Hamilton we have a multi-dimensional quality of life index which we subscribe to, as along with a number of other cities. Yet when we look at projects themselves, do we evaluate those against the index? So one that got people up in arms just recently was pulling the rose gardens out to save money. Right, so there's an idea, but how would that impact on any of those indices which we as a city have been subscribing to for years? Of course that never managed to get into the limelight at all. So I think that one of the major problems we have in New Zealand, and it's probably true in other parts of the world, is that we have a lot of work on policy, but we don't actually measure the outputs, and in particular, we don't measure the outcomes. We change programs regularly to avoid having to measure the outcomes.